Peace, family. Welcome to another episode, a cold episode of UGR Productions. Ran in the Red Pill up in Harlem.
Yes.
I want to talk to the brother, kick it with the brother real quick about some recent stories. The last video we went to, people said it's one of their favorites. The one with you and Blue in the basement. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
One of the things they was commenting on was your hoodie, your sweater. Please show them the drip and let them know that is crazy right there.
Oh, yeah.
That is insane. Yeah. Wow.
For the 16th, I need y'all to be ready.
Oh,
Put that
shit.
Garvey budget to the side. You know what I mean?
Yo, but last time you sold out, so are you gonna be ready for the onslaught this time? Because last time, okay.
Website almost crashed yesterday.
Damn.
Off of the orders, off of the YouTube. So
shit.
I'm really humbled and appreciative. We also got cloth. You know what I mean? We got
that jacket is even yours. The jacket.
Yeah, the coat. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
We got the hats. You know. Like, we're working. Of course, I'm humble. I'm appreciative of everyone who is supportive of Kings County, putting that in your wardrobe, especially for the holiday 2019 season, 2018. Love and light to everyone who is stepping up and grabbing themselves a piece for their collection. So thank you.
Indeed. So on that note, December 16th, Red will be in the building. We all getting ready for that event. Information will be in the description bar, as well as information about the hoodies. Let's get to this story with Kevin Hart. I want to get your take on it. We always wait for somebody. You know, Kevin Hart has always been known that people see him as one of the spineless people in Hollywood, where he never says anything about
for much.
You know, yeah, he's just very quiet and gets along to get along or whatever.
Yeah.
Is a situation happened where the Oscars wanted him to apologize for some statements he made. I think it was in 2009 that they considered homophobic.
Okay.
Once the Oscars wanted him to host the Oscars, once they said they wanted him to host the Oscars, I guess people looked up his past. That's what people do.
That's what they do now.
They look up your tweets and they're gonna find something you said.
Facts.
So they found something he said, and Kevin Hart refuses to apologize for it. And he says he already apologized for it, but he's not gonna apologize again. He has enough money. He's good on the Oscars.
That's right.
Is this a victory for black people? Is it just entertainment? Should we not even be entertaining it at all? Talk to me, Red Pill.
Well, to say that it's a victory that he stepped down as the host and lost his gig as a result of the resurfacing of old tweets that they are deeming homophobic, which would be defined as the fear of homosexuals, the same way that arachnophobia would be the fear of spiders, right? So homophobia in it of itself, that title, it's a misnomer. It doesn't make sense. People who are tweeting about not wanting their firstborn sons or their children to be gay men, it's not a fear. That's their preference. As a father of a son and a daughter, I will go on record on Twitter or any other social media apparatus that you throw at me, and I will state for the records that this is straight black pride, that I want my son and my daughter to procreate the same way that their mothers and their father procreated and created them. I would expect them to continue our bloodline. I would expect them to focus on not falling into sexual deviancy and to function as heterosexuals. Because as a parent, that is my preference, and I will never in my life, I don't care if you're dangling a trip to Mars, I'm not apologizing for that. Because by apologizing for that, I'm basically telling Hollywood and my son that I didn't mean what I wrote, and I mean everything that I write. So for Kevin Hart or the Academy of Arts and Sciences to try to pressure Kevin Hart to apologize for a thought or an idea or a preference that he had as a parent, right? And there was another tweet where he questioned the mind state of another comedian or another man who was storing images of him in his phone. He said, what is he, a fat fag? but we have to keep in mind that Kevin Hart is a comedian. So when do you draw the line to say who a comedian can offend and who we can't? How is it the LBGTQRLSTV community is all of a sudden trying to police what people are saying in a realm of comedy? Really? That's what we're doing? So all of a sudden they're off limits, but everybody else that Kevin Hart talks about, women with no edges, short men, and all of these other things, you could make fun of them, but you cannot crack a joke about these people who have sexual preferences and whatnot. It doesn't make sense to me. So no, it's not a win or a loss. It is a telltale sign about where we're at in society, right?
Yeah, right.
Inside of this quote unquote political, this PC culture that went out the window with this president and this administration.
You're leading right into my next question.
Yeah.
My next question was going to be, some people call it the Trump effect, where it seems like men, celebrities talk a little more. They talk with a little more testosterone than they used to talk with. Even Don Lemon said he gets away with things now that he couldn't get away with in the Obama administration.
Right.
So is this a good part of Trump being president, where people ain't afraid to say how they feel anymore? Because Trump is so vulgar. Yeah. He's so out there. He's so raw with his shit that people are like, fuck it, I can say something. The president is saying what he want to say. Is that a good aspect of the Trump effect?
I wouldn't necessarily agree with that. I would say that the Trump effect is overall a very negative effect. It deals with narcissistic personality disorder. It deals with being very persuasive in your dialogue or your lexicon. It deals with not admitting that you're wrong. It deals with cognitive dissonance. And it also deals with a form of male bravado, toxic masculinity that I don't agree with necessarily. I don't think that that's conducive to the healing that needs to take place to people who have been wrong, to people who have been historically beat down, verbally abused, and things of that nature, like black people who see themselves as inferior, like women, like people who are some of these quote-unquote groups in America that don't have political power and don't have, like people with special needs and shit like that. I don't necessarily agree that in this era of Trumpism that we should just say, you know what, it's all gloves are off. He's a dictator who doesn't wear a velvet glove. He's not smacking you with a velvet glove. That he's giving you a backhand with an iron fist. It's gonna knock your tooth out. It's gonna basically break bone structure. Yeah, he's gorilla pimping the world. So I don't necessarily agree with that stance, especially when it comes to Trump. Would I agree with a gorilla hand if Obama decided that he wanted to use that? Definitely, most certainly, only because I'm very biased and I could admit that. But for a white billionaire racist to basically be at the forefront of conforming people's mind state and the way that they handle other people, no, not at all. That is a negative effect that's going to it's going to empower the sociopaths amongst us, the sadomasochists amongst us, the anti-socialists amongst us, those who have no kind of consideration for people's feelings and things of that nature. They feel like they got a pass. So hell nah. I don't think that that's a good thing.
Do you think all of these so-called prestigious organizations is losing its clout? The Oscars, you hear Jay-Z talking shit about the Grammys on his new song. What's it with Meek? What's the name of it? What's Free? Yeah, he's like, I look at the Billboard now like, is you dumb? And you know what's funny? He went back on his statement. He talked about, remember he first said, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Yeah. Now he's talking about numbers getting inflated. Numbers lie. So do you think...
there's some real numbers that matter.
Yeah.
That bank account matters. You know what I'm talking about?
But is this Trump era, is it the end? Because it's the fake news era. So with the fake news, does that trickle down to the fake Oscars, the fake billboards, the fake whatever, where we don't look up to these organizations like we used to? Is it turning into that, Red?
Well, this is the Matrix. It's not just fake news.
Mark Lamont got fired, Roland Martin fired.
No, that's what I'm saying. This is the Matrix. This is the proverbial old guard. This is the fact that people are waking up to what is known as the illusion. The Oscars is an illusion. Don't tweet me that this is the first time in 100 some odd years that a black person got nominated for costume designs and all of that dumb shit. Like, do you see the hypocrisy in that statement or that tweet and whatnot? The first time in 100 times. So you've been giving your life, energy, and your blood and all of your faith in these industries for hundreds of years. They done cast the couch. Everybody that you think is a star or that you look up to, yeah, there's a sex tape in one of these vaults in Hollywood or San Fernando Valley where niggas is rat packing and ghetto gagging all of your stars. Real talk. That's how they did our black women specifically, and that's how they did a handful of our black male stars. They rat packed them, they dogged them, they ran through them, they passed them around like a bag of like a blunt of Kush. Fuck all of these old guard. Fuck all of that bullshit. Fuck the Grammys, the Oscars. You know what I'm talking about? Fuck the Academy Awards. Fuck Dick Clark and Dick. Pardon my French. Dick Clark and the American Bandstand Awards. All of that stuff is a part of the old guard. All of that stuff, like, you know, unfortunately, what Benzino and the Source Awards were trying to do with Julia Beverly and was trying to do with the Ozone Awards and the Source Awards and what they were trying to enact by introducing our own form of awards and keeping at a high standard where it wasn't niggerized. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. But there's been the BET Awards. You know, there's been people amongst us that have been trying to stamp our own kind of awards where we could add some kind of value and a reward system and prestige to it where it trumps what you know as the Oscars and the Grammys and the Academy of Arts and Sciences, because as we know, that doesn't have our best interests at hand. They don't have their ear to the quote-unquote culture. They don't represent us. And as you can see, they've been shitting on us for almost a century. So no, I'm not giving no kind of credit to them. No, hell no. So if anybody don't want to host those awards, they're getting cornier as the years go by. So who cares? They ain't nominate. No, there's no award. There's no real movies that we're looking out for that we're really rooting for anyway. So nah, who cares? Like, who cares about that? That's corporate. My bad. That deals with corporate. If I get nominated for an album of the year, corporately, that's gonna help my tour numbers. Corporately, that's gonna help me in my braggadocio. Corporately, that's gonna help me in my negotiations for my new contract or my new budget. So a lot of that deals with corporate. That deals with bargaining chips. That's all corporate America. So at the end of the day, for those of us that are not in corporate America and we don't use that as leverage, who really cares?
Do you think there's a level of I'll save that. I might not save that for another interview or later on in the interview. But in terms of these corporations and in terms of everything that's going on, whether it's the Oscars or whether it's the Emmys, you keep talking about the old vanguards. This new paradigm. You go on a lot of lectures. You crew the paradigm shifters. That's the paradigm shifter. Yeah. Let's use that word. Do you think there's a level of hatred from the old guards to brothers like you? Because listen, a lot of them feel as though, nigga, if you came up in my era, you had to do this. you don't have to do it because you have the internet, you have all this. So they, in their mind, they're like, yo, I wasn't blessed with the internet. I wasn't blessed with social media. They feel like I had to, you know, do some crazy shit in the casting couch. That was the only way in my era. So they look at you like, nigga, you ain't have to do this. That's why you up there talking shit. Do you think there's a level of, you know?
Keep in mind, the majority of the outings that are taking place are being done from people's Twitters or their tweets. So in this quote unquote democratized social media era where they're scared to death, the people that are in power, the old guard, are scared to death because the new guard are coming up through the internet. They're coming up through a democratized aspect, a democratized platform. And that's Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, where we don't have to conform. There's no casting couch to get your channel popping. Did you sit on the casting couch to get 200,000 plus subscribers? Did you have to dance and whatnot for NBC or CBS? No, you was able to stay on the truth. You was able to be yourself, and you was able to go. And corporate America is terrified of that.
What if they tell you red pill self-preservation is the first law of nature, and that's why I did what I did, my brother?
Self-preservation is the first law of nature, but DNA responds to environment. So in the environment that we exist in what is known as the digital future. You should be able to conform. You should be able to stop buck dancing and create your...
About back then. What if that was their reason? I want to be an actor. Self-preservation is the first law of nature. That's why I did what I did in 1991 on the casting couch.
No doubt. So
when Quincy Jones had the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
You feel me? So we should those who would be willing to listen to those people should be willing to understand what they had to go through to get to where they're at right now. But what they're trying to do is, you see new guard versus old guard. So the Academy of Arts and Sciences, that's not a movement that was born off the internet. That's old guard. But what they're doing is they're digging up people who are trying to get into that old building. They're digging up the shit that you did in the new world, which is the digital world, which is Twitter. Right. So they're judging you based off of your tweets. You did that in an undemocratized zone. You didn't have no publicists. You didn't have nobody telling you what you could say. You didn't have nobody telling you what you could think. So we're gonna go dig into your old tweets. Right. Oh, nigga, that's what's on your mind. That's how you feel. But you wasn't saying that when you was in a room full of gay men over in this party that we had in the hills in Hollywood, Kevin. In Calabasas. We was blowing backs out in front of you, Kevin. Tiffany, they was running trains on Tiffany. You didn't have nothing to say about it then, so we're gonna out you. That's how they out people nowadays. They're gonna weigh out the activity that you were doing in the new world versus the shit that they know that you was doing in the old world. You a promosexual in the real world, so why are you on Twitter acting like that, Kevin? Talk to me. The majority of the people that are cutting these multi-million deals for you are gay in Hollywood. It's a gay mafia, meaning what does the mafia do, Rich? They put out hits. So people think that a hit is just a headshot. No, a hit is them going ahead and telling the Washington Post or the New York Times to put a story out on you. A hit is telling TMZ to run a story on you. It's called a hit job. You know what a hit job is? When they hit you, they hit your pockets. That's the new hit. They hit your stocks. They hit your bottom line. They hit your motherfucking pocket. They know that if you host the Academy Awards, that your prices on your movies will raise up from 20 million to 30 million. We just hit you, bro. So some of us are like, my nigga, I'm tired of playing with this mafia. I don't want to play that game anymore. I don't want to deal with I know how y'all play dirty. Right. So I'm not gonna keep apologizing because you already have humiliated me in the hills of Hollywood.
Right.
You've already humiliated me in some of these private parties.
That's facts. That's right.
Stop trying to demasculate me. You already cut my goddamn scrotum off. You've already castrated me. Imagine all of the dancing and tricks and favors that he had to do to get out of the scandal when he got caught cheating. Who was it to try to warn you about this shit? Katt Williams tried to warn you about how they play a few months ago, and niggas try to give him the donkey of the day. But he was on point. It's not what you see on the surface, family, and don't think that we're being mad critical about what goes on. We're talking about the way that they break people's pride. We're talking about the way that they break people and put them on Ritalin and put them on all kind of psychotropics, and how they break up marriages and whatnot. They do that by inducing anxiety and depression in our brothers and sisters because of these games that they play. And it spills out and it plays out on social media in these stories and whatnot. But always know, behind the scenes, it's all kind of shit going on.
What do you what is that like? What would you say, like a form of psychological castration for somebody to say, if I say red pill before you come on, you better apologize, nigga, before you come on for some shit you said 10 years ago? What is that, emasculation? What would you call that?
It's a form of molestation, right? It's a form of molestation, and it's a form of abuse. It's called emotional and mental abuse, and it's a form of molestation. They're molesting you, okay? By having you conform,
right?
By making you bend,
right?
By having you kneel. Remember Game of Thrones where they put you on your knee on some Kaepernick shit? Get on your knee, nigga.
Yeah, right.
It's a form of castration. Testicular fortitude means that you got you let your nuts hang, right? The opposite of that is that we're gonna ridicule you in the mass media. We're gonna cut your balls off. That's what they did to us when they lynched us. Exactly they castrated us. The proverbial castration and putting your phallus in a jar.
Is
That's
what?
Yeah, because image is everything.
Yeah.
Image is everything.
Yeah.
What does black people have? Black males in particular, they let their nuts hang. They're men, right? We brought this up before. Some of the enemies of the industry are the ones who were able to keep their heterosexual image intact. They have a documentary coming out on Suge Knight.
Nipsey Hussle?
Well, let's talk about the OGs.
Oh, the OGs, yeah.
They went after Jay Prince. They went after Suge Knight. They went after, Irv Gotti. They thought that he was going to be the weak link in the chain, and he didn't break. He beat the feds. Because they thought that he was the weak link.
Right.
But all of these men never had homosexual rumors spread against them. All of these men let their nuts hang around gay white men inside of the mafia, inside of the settings where the mafia plays. That is the music industry. That would be Todd Moskovich. That would be Lucian. That would be all of these. That would be the dude who was at J Records who admitted being a homosexual. The old one, Clive Davis.
Okay.
All of these men inside of Hollywood with Harvey Weinstein and all of the gay mafia that was rumored to basically run things over there.
Right.
And then you got San Fernando Valley. You could talk to Pinky, right? You could at Pinky, Mr. Marcus, right? And all of the other black porn stars, they would tell you in San Fernando Valley, there's a gay mafia running things. They devalued black men. They devalue black porn. Okay, and they devalue interracial porn because they could not let you see black men and black phalluses drilling white women. So they flipped it with TT Boy and the rest of them, and that's all you see is white men drilling black women. Shout out to the sister from Destiny Child. What's her name? Michelle? Yeah, her man dumped her. She's done.
Is that's real or is that rumor? Is that like fake news?
I think that's real news. And we know in the black world we don't take you back after white men ravish you.
He got exposed by Tariq.
He got exposed as being a white supremacist. Okay? So black America, black men in particular, we will not take you back after your bedwinchery. It's hands up.
Has failed.
Huh? It's different with black men. Jordan could come back to black women. They'll take them back. We don't take black women back after your witchery because we know what they do to you. All of the fisting and the doggy bowl shit. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, that's
your stocks,
R-rated. That's R-rated.
Your stocks are done. You're done. You're finished. Only a Chinese could take you back. You're done. Or another white man. So, yeah.
Well, you know, we ain't gonna be out here too long. It's cold out here.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you said Katt Williams tried to warn them. Anybody, you know, there's a trend. Anybody that tries to warn people about what's going on gets called crazy. The word
Yeah.
crazy gets applied to everybody, any and everybody who has some level of truth to what they're talking about. So
They want him to be an ally. They say the word is ally to the LBGT, meaning that you have to denounce who the fuck you are. Those old tweets that he put out, that's Kevin Hart from Philly. That's that nigga that Meek and them know. The new Kevin Hart that be chilling with The Rock, that's Hollywood Kevin. That's the Kevin that Katt was banging on. They want you to be an ally to Greco-Roman culture. They want you to be an ally to pedophilia. They want you to be an ally to basically a lifestyle that's dealing with the deaf culture. So shout out to anybody who says, I'm not with that shit. Fuck is you talking about? You know what I'm talking about? Y'all run shit anyway. What you need me for? Why you need me as an ally, my nigga? You know what I'm talking about? Because after the ally comes people doing what they did to Terry Crews, niggas grabbing your ass in your package.
Whew.
And we heard a lot of rumors about Kevin Hart already.
you see how
For a father who's gonna stand on what he said about his son, no, I'm not apologizing for that. Because the minute I apologize for that and I bring my son around you niggas, y'all gonna start acting, you're gonna start trying to slide in his DM, wink at him, like how they did Magic Johnson's son. You're gonna flip my son. So no, shout out to all of the black fathers who unequivocally stand on the fact that you don't want to see your son with a broken wrist. Like, what's wrong with that?
right. Indeed.
And for anybody that's offended by me standing on that and saying that, then you need to check yourself in the mirror, because it's nothing that you can say about me that's gonna make me feel any way about how I feel about my child, daughter or son. Bottom line, like, you're not gonna conform, you're not gonna dangle a carrot in front of me. So Kevin Hart got his nigga wake-up call.